This is Dolany TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome into tonight's edition of the Battle Alberta. Oh my goodness, yeah, the last live stream I did here on Dolany TV was indeed the Battle of Alberta, and my goodness, we get it in the playoffs right here, right now. Game one. Only about 19 minutes away before puck drop here in Calgary this afternoon, this evening, whatever the heck the sun wants to say the time is today. My friends, it has been a long time coming, and let me tell you, you know what? I am very glad, I'm very happy to be in this stream, doing this with you, and of course, watching our Oilers play second round playoff hockey for only the, what? Second time since 2015. So here we find ourselves ready to get underway for yet another huge game in these playoffs. We've already had 7 of them. We got the job done in game 7 against the LA Kings. If you didn't see the video, I'm going to link the video for you here in the chat, because my goodness, the energy level I had coming out of bogeys and Airdrie on Saturday night was a whole other thing, my friends. That was an unreal amount of energy I burnt off running through the parking lot between the Shell, I believe it is, and bogeys in Airdrie. So my friends, good evening, welcome in, and enjoy tonight's stream. Of course, a reminder for everyone back home, I will not be showing the game. You physically cannot show the game on YouTube, and as any respectable YouTuber, you won't, because you have a brand to protect instead of getting fines levied against you by the NHL, of which you report on daily. So my friends, with that said, we find ourselves getting ready for a couple of minutes of amble before this game. What do I have to say? I think there's one thing I'd like to try and mention prior to this game starting up. I'm going to give you a line here, because this is kind of what I want to deliver to you, as it pertains to kind of how my last year has gone. Obviously, I haven't live streamed a playoff game since 2020, when things went sideways in Game 3 against the Chicago Blackhawks. And of course, you know, um, if you've watched me all that time, you'd know kind of what's happened here with me over the course of my past several years here on YouTube. So I don't need to explain myself too far early on. However, let's get the full lyrics here for this song, and I'm going to give it to you right here. So, where is it? Let me see here. Um, you know, it's one of those things, right? Like I listen to a lot of country. I really have grown to love country music. Obviously, being an Albertan, I should have been listening to country music my whole life. Whether I knew it or not, I probably was. However, right as a young kid, growing up on a radio station, 95.3 K Rock up in Cold Lake, yeah, that's what played in the car all the time. So that's what I was growing up on, classic rock as opposed to the country. Didn't spend too much time at rodeos and stuff early on. Love it now, absolutely love the hell of it. So, of course, with that, right, is you find meaning in songs, and what I've found meaning in is really something that keeps me going throughout this past couple of years doing my broadcasting stuff, not really keeping up with it as much as a guy who has a diploma in broadcasting should, right? Obviously, I have a lot of talent to go out there and do this kind of stuff for people that need it done. However, that said, right, like, you still find meaning in doing it when you can. That's what I find tonight. And I take these lyrics from Doing This by Luke Combs. I don't know if you're familiar with the song. Again, I don't know how familiar all you are with country music, country lyrics, country songs, that said. But towards the end of the song, there's a whole verse about it ain't about the fame, it ain't about the fortune, it ain't about the name, it ain't about the glory. I guess I'm saying it's always been about having a Friday night crowd in the palm of my hand. The biggest thing, the biggest thrill I've always gotten out of broadcasting is being the vessel, the voice, or the kind of the source of how you're living your excitement through things. And obviously tonight going to be a little different, because you'll more than likely be watching the hockey game yourself. And if not, I'm glad I can be along for the ride and provide it with you. But just to be that supplementary, keep you company kind of deal, and be that kind of, right, have that crowd in the palm of my hand, but also be a part of your memories for tonight's game. Just fantastic opportunity for me. That's why I'm doing it. That is why I'm here, is because you know what? Together we have memories to make. Just like with Jack Michaels, just like Hunter Ryan saying, we have memories to make together, whether you're watching from home, whether you're watching from work, whether you're watching on the beach down in Mexico. And my goodness, by some point tonight, we will have somebody watching on the beach down in Mexico, guarantee you, because this stream already up to 21 viewers live at once here on Dolly TV is about to absolutely go bananas. Because you know what, we're here to make memories. Obviously, that's the goal of this, right? We want to walk away with this one with a lot to talk about and a lot of great times, and that's what I'm here to do, is have some fun, make some memories, and enjoy the heck out of a hockey game here tonight between the Calgary Flames, the Edmonton Oilers, the Battle of Alberta, the first time since 1991 in the playoffs. This time round 2 in the Pacific Division Finals here in the NHL this season. My friends, that's the kind of what I wanted to get off my chest. I was thinking about it all the way home from Airdrie today after picking up groceries to go up to Rimbey this weekend. And that too, if anyone listening is going to the ball tournament in Rimbey, I will see you there, and I cannot wait to see you there because it is going to be a blast to be up there in Rimbey with the team this weekend for a May-long tournament. My first ever long weekend tournament with a ball team down here in southern Alberta, and that is just a moment I cannot wait for myself because, right, I have always known there's long weekend tournaments, never gotten an invite to one, and now all of a sudden I get an invite to one when I think I'm at my physical prime for the first time in my life here in my mid-20s. Cannot wait. But before that, we've got to get game 1 done, and then before that, we've got to get game 2, game 3 all figured out, right? Game 2 I'll be watching on the outdoor TV on the RV with my friends up at the campsite in Rimbey, and that's going to be an absolute memory maker, right? That's kind of what I was talking about earlier, making memories this series, and that's going to be one I soon won't forget. I guarantee you, going out there, sitting at the campsite, around the fire, everybody's having a good time. And you know what? I sit down here with a lot of Southern Albertans. I deal with a lot of Flames fans. But leave it to a guy that broadcasts the Oilers on YouTube to find himself some fellow Oilers fans down here in the local Airdrie area because, hey, you know what? We're everywhere, right? And that's what we're here to do tonight is exactly that, is enjoy everybody coming from everywhere and coming together and having ourselves a great night. Again, I'd like to remind everybody, if I don't answer your question in the chat, that is not what I am here to do anymore. That is not what I'm here to do on stream. Obviously, I'll have folks watching, so just if you do have a question, make sure it's mindful. Make sure I can come in there and answer it during intermission. I will do that during intermission. Don't you worry, I will get to that. Because end of the day, I don't care about the intermission nonsense on Hockey Night in Canada. Long ago, they got rid of good commentary in the intermissions. And now we've got just basically filler between periods, in my opinion. So here we'll fill things with your takes, your insights here on Dolly TV during the intermissions. That's what the comments section is open for this evening, my friends. So that said, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to go out there, rip some play-by-play. If you've followed Dolly TV long enough, you would have checked out the live streams from up in Cold Lake, the U18 Female B Hockey Alberta Provincial Championships for 2022. My latest piece of work there in late March, early April, and that was an absolute blast. And again, to the organizing community, anyone tuning in from those live streams this evening to watch the Battle of Alberta here on Dolly TV, or listen to it, I guess. Hey, you know what? Thank you so much for being a big part of that weekend. Thank you so much for making me feel, again, like I was still doing this the way I should. So hats off to you. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we've got exactly 10 minutes to puck drop, I believe. That said, you know how puck drops have gone the past couple of, I guess, how do you say, weeks here in the NHL playoffs, is they haven't exactly been the most on time. Everybody's making quite a big deal of that, so that just is what it is. But my friends, let's just go to the comments section for what we can get going here, as there's not much to go in the comments so far. So alright, there's Austin. I'm just going to point out kind of what we got going here. Ashton, sorry, misreading already. It's going to be a long night if I can't read, let me tell you that much, especially if my eyes don't work and I can't watch a hockey game on Hockey Night in Canada. Medicine hat for Ashton down there as well. So it's going to be great in terms of things here in our game tonight. And just got to take a second to appreciate that I got to breathe at some point as well. running out of steam early on is never a good call into action, that's for sure. But we're going to have ourselves a great little hockey game tonight, that's for sure. Instant net for the Edmonton Oilers. Mike Smith getting the start, his 8th straight start of these NHL playoffs. He's been fantastic so far. I think Jacob Markstrom's played all the games as well. In the playoffs, McDavid with 14 points to Johnny Gaudreau's 8 both games through 7. And then Evander Kane has 7 goals to Backlund's 3. So the Flames, right, that was the knock against them. They really did not score a ton of goals in the playoffs to start that first round, but they squeaked it out. Obviously, if you're not going to score, Dallas is the best team not to score against and win, and that's exactly what they did. Both goaltenders starting tonight have 4 wins, enough to win the first round series and meet here in Calgary at the Dome, just outside of the Sea of Red in Calgary. Connor McDavid, 10 assists. He was phenomenal in that Game 7. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what? I said 2 years ago after Game 1, right? Game 1, Connor was pissed. Connor came into Game 2, absolutely destroyed, dismantled himself the Chicago Blackhawks. Things did not obviously continue. But I said at that time, pissed off Connor McDavid is the scariest player the NHL playoffs have ever seen. Well, let me tell you. Desperation, Connor McDavid, desperation, Edmonton Oilers hockey, and fueled by Ben Stelter hockey. That is the scariest Connor McDavid we have ever seen. I have gotten multiple text messages, multiple screenshots sent to me of that hug Ben and Connor shared post Game 5, or it would have been Game 5. I believe, or Game 4, whatever it was. Again, it gets all fuzzy this time of year. When Ben told Connor straight up, you got this, buddy. And my goodness, what we witnessed from that point on was nothing short of incredible. The Oilers absolutely came roaring to life in those last 2 games, and we look forward to seeing more of that tonight to open the series at the Saddledome. That said, my friends, Game 1 tickets at the Scotiabank Saddledome in Calgary are going for $375 a seat for the worst seat in the house. I've had multiple people ask me in the past 48 hours, are you going to the games? Are you going to find a way to get a ticket? My friends, if it's going to cost me $375 for my nose to be bleeding the entire hockey game at the Scotiabank Saddledome of all stadiums, and I watch the Oilers lose, I'm going to be mighty cheesed off, right? I'm going to be mighty upset. So, instead of that, save that amount of money, put it in the bank, keep saving paycheck to paycheck. The Oilers go all the way, we're going to hopefully be there. That's kind of the end goal, right? We want to be there. That's it. That takes a lot of money. We'll figure it out and we'll get it going. We got a path to it. I got a savings plan. Should be good to go. But there's business first to be taken care of twice over before then. And that starts tonight against the Calgary Flames at the Scotiabank Saddledome, where seats are $375 for the worst seat in the house in Game 1 this evening against the Flames. My friends, we are roughly 5, 10, 15, 20, 40, 80 hours away from puck drop. Who really knows? It's the NHL with start times in the playoffs. However, we'll be fine. We'll get through it, and we will get this hockey game underway in time. And again, my friends, I really don't get what's going on here with my live stream lagging out. But again, my live stream seeming to lag out a little bit here on things once I push it up to the big screen. So maybe I just need to stay down with the mini screen, and it's still lagging there. So let me see if I can turn down the quality to low maybe. I don't know. It's still lagging just as badly, and I still haven't figured that out. That is really weird. Whatever, it'll be what it'll be, and we'll figure it out as we go along this afternoon, I guess you could say, as they're showing replay highlights of Evander Kane's hat trick against the LA Kings the other night. And of course, that was a big moment in Edmonton Oilers history in the playoffs, that's for sure. So Kelly, you can say that $600 at Rogers Place, but I mean, there ain't a bad seat at Rogers Place. That's all I'm gonna say right there. There ain't a bad seat at all in the house at Rogers Place. But yeah, $600 a ticket right for round two. I'd rather pay $1,200 in the Stanley Cup final, right? That's just what I'm saying. Is a little bit of common sense in buying tickets this time of year wouldn't be a bad thing. And if I miss out, I miss out. At least I was able to watch it on TV, right? I know it's the matter of if you don't go, you aren't ever going to go, and whatever you want to say. But I'm going to sit here and give you guys one more piece of advice here this evening before we get this hockey game underway, because I recently, in case you missed it on Dolany TV, made a trip to Edmonton. It was to watch the last two games of the regular season at home, right? The back-to-back was San Jose and, of course, Vancouver. You might have seen me get a lot of photos with some players, coaches, GMs, that kind of stuff. But I did a lot more than that. I went to a couple of places. I kind of went backtracked throughout my history, and kind of went through, what Edmonton means to me after having lived there during college. I lived there during college in 2014-16. And of course, you kind of get to know a couple of places. You spend some time places, and you do some things, and you meet people. And of course, I got some family there too. So there was some stuff I had to just physically take care of while I was there, rather than just go to the games, in and out, goodbye, 2 days, there and done kind of deal. And one of the things I had to do was catch up with one of my cousins I hadn't seen in several years. And it was a great chat, right? It was great to talk about family history, great to catch up about what's going on, how's work, all that, right? The normal chit chat. But as any extended family conversation goes, any conversation I tend to have, I'm always trying to pick somebody's brain about not necessarily what keeps them going, but the standards and the kind of motivation they live by, more or less. And my cousin, she stopped me when I said, hey, you know what? End of the day, you just got to live every day like it's your last, right? That's a saying, that's a motto I've been using for several years, because, right, you never know. You are not guaranteed to wake up tomorrow. But she stopped me and she said, that's not entirely the best way to be going about it. And as somebody who's thought, man, you got to make memories today. It's the end all be all. You got to celebrate today, right? I stopped dead in my tracks and I'm, what do you mean? Where are you going with this? Where she was going with this is, you know what? Tomorrow and today are much better when you plan on being here tomorrow. When you plan on being here tomorrow and making tomorrow just as good. So when I sit down and I sit there with myself and I say, I don't want to spend that money on these round two tickets because I'd much prefer to spend it on Stanley Cup final tickets. That comes right from there. That comes from that line of wisdom from my cousin over lunch at the Bonaventure Cafe at Chateau Nova in Edmonton. Why? Because, end of the day is I don't plan on this being over. I don't plan on, hey, you know what? I better go to this Oilers game because they're going to be out by the time I want to actually go. No, don't live like that, is what I kind of taught myself from that. Is like, you know what? Just plan for tomorrow. Live like there is going to be a tomorrow. And there's been a whole bunch of tomorrows since that trip to Edmonton. And I've been riding quite a little life high the past couple of weeks. It's been a good past couple of weeks. And end of the day, I'm coming up on some stuff here personally in my life. And it's all turning around and it really feels good. That said, do I come back to YouTube and do it full time? Absolutely not. Don't have the time. Don't have the ability. And end of the day, that's not the worst case scenario because, right, like I started off with the lyrics for the opening little ramble I had was for Luke Combs, for myself, whatever you want to say. I'm still doing this even if I ain't doing this. And that's all that matters at the end of the day to me. Ladies and gentlemen, they're playing the intro montage to our Game 1 at the Saddle Dome here between the Oilers and Calgary Flames. And we are about ready to get this hockey game underway. It is going to be one heck of a memory maker tonight. Can't wait to call it for you because it's been a long time, like I said, since I last called a game on Dolany TV. Some of you might have caught me on the Flames Stars game, period number 1, over on Clem Hawks. That's a channel I've been working on with a buddy down in the States, trying to get him going a little bit, and they are showing things off here. A little bit of glory boys, a little bit of new guys, a little bit of everything here on this pregame montage, and of course showing off everything from back in the day to today. the fans, everything, the greasy plays, the things that have made the Battle of Alberta what the Battle of Alberta is to you and me today, my friends. And I look forward to hopefully being just a voice that can bring a little bit of it to you. Again, they were talking in the pregame about the violence, the level of physicality, the fights, all that, if that's going to be there or not. Obviously, given what the Stanley Cup playoffs have become over the past several years, I wouldn't count on it. But end of the day, too, is you can't rule it out either. And I think that's the most exciting thing for us as Oilers fans this evening is just the fact of it could be a uniting bridge between old and new here in Oilers land, right? Between fans of my generation, fans of the new generation, fans that have known nothing but Connor McDavid their whole lives, fans that started way back in 19 whatever the heck 70 when the Oilers came in the WHA era, fans that came around when the Oilers got into the NHL, fans that were there for all 5 cups, fans that were born unfortunately a year after the last cup, right guys? From all guys and girls, from all spectrums of the Oilers universe can meet here tonight in this Battle of Alberta, shake hands, do business, and enjoy a hockey game. Cannot wait. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, this used to go a certain way here on Dolany TV. I used to be monetized on YouTube. I used to be able to accept your donations and stuff like that. And I know I always used to say I don't feel like you have to. And again, I still very much so feel like that. But people still were inclined to throw around the money on the streams. And I truly do appreciate that. But this evening, I had a request from a friend. He was talking to me about, hey, are you going to live stream? And I said, yeah. And normally in the playoffs, what I did is I tried to, because I knew money was going to be thrown my way, I tried to pay it forward and take a percentage of that and chip it towards a charity. We generally ended up donating after every series $50 towards a charity of whatever we chose. So far, it's been the Oilers Foundation, whether it be the Joey Moss Fund, or whether it be, I think it was the Colby Cave Memorial Fund at the time in 2020. And this evening, what I'm asking you before we get this hockey game underway at the Scotiabank Saddledome is, my friends, if you feel like donating money in the name of anything tonight, what I ask you is please go to the Edmonton Veterans Food Bank and support them. I had a request from a friend, dear friend, who asked me this evening, hey, would you mind throwing that out there on the live stream for folks to maybe bite on and maybe go make a difference while watching the Battle of Alberta on Dolany TV? And I told him absolutely that will not be a problem, my friend. That is done. That is taken care of. We are moments away from puck drop. Everybody's got a cowboy hat for some reason on the set for this Battle of Alberta pregame panel. But again, anyone that does end up donating to the Edmonton Veterans Food Bank after hearing that from me, thank you so much. And I know my friend who it would mean a lot to hear that we made a difference tonight here on Dolany TV means a lot to him as well. And again, from him, thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, with that, let's get this going. For those of you just joining us here on Dolany TV ahead of tonight's hockey game, I'm Tyson. This is Dolany TV. I say that wrong. If anyone in my extended family is listening, they're questioning me because it's just my direct family that pronounces it that way. The correct pronunciation is Dolany. And folks, if that sounds a little bit more familiar, you may be more inclined to know me than I know me. However, Mike Smith, Jacob Markstrom will be the starting goaltenders for tonight's matchup between the Oilers and the Flames. Smith 4-3, Markstrom 4-3, both with astronomical numbers in the playoffs so far. I think Markstrom has the edge. Technically, they don't have those stats available on sportsnet.ca. However, they have the playoff points for the players. 14-8, the leading scorers for the Flames and Oilers. McDavid with 14, Gaudreau with 8. The goal-scoring leaders in this series entering 7 goals for Kane, 3 goals for Backlund. My friends, let's get ready to rip. They've got Daryl Sutter showing off the, I believe this is the clip about the 3 things that unite Albertans. Of course, that being sports, church, and of course music. And honestly, you pick one of those 3, you're going to find a lot of people doing one of them at some point in the year. So my friends, we find ourselves, again, still just a few minutes removed from puck drop. A lot of brave souls at the Scotiabank Saddledome this evening. I cannot believe people are in Oilers jerseys in the Scotiabank Saddledome this evening because I myself wear the Bakersfield Condors jersey to the Scotiabank Saddledome when I go because I fear for my life when I am at the Scotiabank Saddledome. It gets that rowdy when you leave the building and go towards Cowboys postgame. Anyhow, speaking from experience, right? Anyhow, we've still waiting for this game to get underway. The concourse looks pretty empty for things here pregame in Calgary, which is nice because I imagine everybody is going to want to be in their seats as soon as the puck drops. I've heard multiple friends of mine that come in on the counter at work have been into the Saddledome so far for this playoff run, and they have gotten a drink or two, sat down at their seat, and that has been it. That has been all for their evening. When they sit down in that seat at the Scotiabank Saddledome, that is the only place they are sitting for the rest of the night. The only place they are the rest of the night, that is for sure. So, right, we've got Smith, Markstrom. That's the big ticket items. Johnny Gaudreau has figured it out in the playoffs, and we look forward to seeing him crush it for us this evening for the Flames because, right, I mean, I'm not going to mind if Johnny throws off a little star power against the Oilers and makes it a little bit more of an interesting series. Hey, we'll take what we can get. But Connor McDavid, Game 7, Connor McDavid against the LA Kings. We get that for 4 games this series. I don't know. I don't want to throw out any predictions, but they look pretty good odds for the Edmonton Oilers in the series if you get that for 4 games at any point. To Connor McDavid, that is for sure. So plenty of offense. They're talking about, well, 4 of the top 8 point getters in the NHL. 2 on the Oilers, that being Draisaitl and McDavid, and 2 on the Flames, that being Tkachuk and Gaudreau. I mean, end of the day, guys, I could sit here and ramble about all the storylines in the world when it comes to this playoff series, and there would not simply be enough time to cover those storylines. Hence why I started off with a couple of rambles personally about my life, personally about kind of my adventures since I've quit YouTube, simply to just kind of capture and set the moment of what this not only personally means to me, but what this means to folks in any shoes here in Alberta and across the world that are fans of these 2 teams. And it is going to be an absolute mammoth night here, I promise you that, because it is going to be fantastic to see these 2 teams go to war, have ourselves a fantastic hockey game, and see what happens against both of these teams. Obviously cheering for the Oilers here on Dolany TV. You don't see the Oilers colors behind me for no reason. Trying to play it a little bit down the middle so as I can remind myself that I don't need to say something stupid that gets me burnt out as soon as this first goal goes in for either team. But end of the day, it's a playoff series. Mix of emotions and a long haul, that's for sure. So that's going to be interesting to see what pans out. Sorry, I'm just sending a message. Just got a message from one of my mods on my stream. Can you mod my stream, my friend? Alright, we got a few seconds here. We're still waiting for this puck to drop, and we'll be waiting for the anthems, and I'm going to be really interested to see how the anthem goes in Calgary. Haven't watched one of those yet this series to work out that frustration there. Alright, here we go. We're back to business. Sent the DM. We're good to go. Alright, buckle up. We've got Gaudreau, Lindholm, Tkachuk. Line scored 6 goals in round 1. That's less than a goal per game, but I mean, the Flames also didn't, I believe, have an 8-goal game in that first round. The Oilers had a couple of lopsided 6-goal victories, so that's going to be a big factor in things, and we'll take one last peek. I said I wouldn't peek at it, but you know, curiosity always gets the best of a guy like me. Let me take a look at how the chat's going this evening, my friends. Tim, welcome in, and thank you for showing up, because I just was waiting for things to go. As here we go. Yeah, so folks, I cannot show the game. In case you're wondering where the hockey game is, I cannot show the game due to copyright restrictions, physically impossible, and I pride myself as a broadcaster with moral standards, and that is not upholding to my moral standards as a broadcaster. Apologies there if you're expecting the game. I am a trained, I wouldn't say professional, but I am a trained licensed broadcaster. I am a trained licensed play-by-play man, so End of the day, take your pick between Jack Michaels, Chris Cuthbert, or myself, or anyone else doing the game on YouTube, and have yourself a great evening. That's the end of the day. We're here to make memories. We're here to have a great time, and I can't wait to hopefully deliver a couple of key moments for you. As if you guys have missed what I am as a broadcaster, let me hold back and recap you. I'm a little bit more unhinged than maybe your ordinary television broadcaster. Of course, I guess I could definitely tell you that for sure, because I know myself better than most people, and I can tell you 100% I'm a little bit more unhinged than your regular television broadcaster. So here we go. Let me sample play-by-play right here for you in the comments section stream of the chat. And I see we've got a question about some fellow Oilers YouTubers in our friend Patrick over at the Oilers Fanatic. Yes, my friends, the meeting of the minds finally happened down at the game against the San Jose Sharks in Rogers Place. Him and I met up in the line waiting to get into the game, chatted life, chatted hockey, and it was great to meet the guy that filled the void after I left and has done a fantastic job in filling that void and continues to do a fantastic job filling that void and actually making it now his void to fill if he's ever to leave. And a fantastic effort all around from Patrick over there on the Oilers Fanatic, and it's proven there after you see what his post game did following Game 7 against the LA Kings. I can already tell I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit, and it's going to be a fun day tomorrow at work. Remember, I'm a sales guy. What's the number one key to sales? Being able to talk, and we're going to see how much Boss Man appreciates me when I come in with no voice tomorrow morning. Boss Man, if you're listening, my apologies. You got to do things when you got to do things, end of the day, right? That's all it comes down to. Still waiting for this game to get underway, by the fact. That's the other side, too. Even if I could show the game, you would just be watching commercials and a bunch of talking heads on Sportsnet. That's about all you'd be watching so far, so the fact that I get a platform to talk to you folks back at home and kind of amp you up for tonight's hockey game, I'm going to take what I can get and enjoy it alongside you, right? That's the end of the day there. So to anyone tuning in for the first time in a while here on Dolany TV, it's been an interesting past couple of years, and I appreciate you sticking by me and continuing to show up for the streams. And here we are for yet another big stream, the Battle of Alberta Round 2 playoffs between the Oilers and the Flames. The moment that I have waited for since 2020, because technically speaking, this is the moment we were supposed to get in the bubble. This was supposed to be the big ticket of the bubble, and it never came to fruition given how things boiled down, and that is fine. I lost myself at the end there, but I was lost long before then, and I've done a lot of work in the past 2 years to build myself back up, get ready for a moment like this. And they've got a live look inside the Scotiabank Saddledome, and it looks absolutely electric in there as Jacob Markstrom walking down the tunnel in the Reds for the Calgary Flames. And my friends, we are about to hopefully get this one underway. The Battle of Alberta Round 2 2022 Stanley Cup playoffs between the Edmonton Oilers and Calgary Flames. A moment long awaited since 1991. Not in my lifetime have I seen a Battle of Alberta between these two teams in the playoffs. And after everything that's happened since the 2017 playoffs with Zach Kassian and Matthew Tkachuk's arrival, the goaltending fight between Cam Talbot and Mike Smith, all the greasiness between these two teams over the past 5 years, it is here to rot in these two buildings, Rogers Place and the Scotiabank Saddledome, between these two teams for a maximum of 7 games in what will be for sure one of, if not the best playoff series of the modern NHL. The post-lockout, obviously not the 2012-2013 lockout, but the post-lockout, we're talking the year the Oilers went to the Stanley Cup final post-lockout era between these two teams here in 2022, with absolute firepower, star power, and everything you could possibly imagine. And let me just take this off, and it sounds absolutely insane in the Scotiabank Saddledome. Let me tell you, they know how to get loud in the Sea of Red. I mean, Rogers Place, you have outdone yourself and then some this playoffs, and don't kid me there that I think the Scotiabank Saddledome is louder than Rogers Place, but hey, Scotiabank Saddledome, old barn, crazy acoustics. It gets crazy in there. And there's Connor McDavid on the ice for the Edmonton Oilers, warming up, getting ready to rip for this game one between the Oilers and the Calgary Flames, live here on Dolly TV. I'll have your play-by-play call. It's been a long time since I last did this. The last Battle of Alberta, whenever the heck that was, that 9-5 disaster show in Calgary, and they return for game one, round two, at the Scotiabank Saddledome. And, well, you know, Connor McDavid said it best. You know, the last time we were here, it was kind of a gong show, and indeed it was at the Scotiabank Saddledome. All we were missing was a couple of fights and a brawl. And you know what? End of the day, who knows what happens here in game one. Mike Smith's in net. That always sets a good stage for something crazy to happen in the crease. Jacob Markstrom, I don't think he's too shy away from getting a little crazy if he has to. Zach Kassian in the lineup for the Edmonton Oilers. Heck, I don't even have the lineups for the Oilers and Flames. So we'll get it going. We'll have the playoffs live stream. No problem without any lineups. Don't need them. As you know, you see numbers, you call names, you get going, and you just zone out and call a hockey game and have a great time. Between these two clubs here, it'll be Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and somebody on the right wing who I think is named Kyler Yamamoto to start this hockey game for the Oilers. The anthem, all the fans standing, and everybody is right ready for this one to get underway. The live camera down to the crowd, and look at that. The crowd is absolutely rip-roaring in Calgary tonight. They're waiting for the anthem singer to come out. Yeah, they've got the Go Flames, Go chants going, and they are just dragging this one out in the pregame presentation. There's Zach Hyman for the Edmonton Oilers. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moments away from this hockey game getting underway. But first, for the first time in this playoffs, the only time it will happen in these Stanley Cup playoffs, one Canadian anthem. And that is it for the pregame anthems to be played before this one at the Scotiabank Saddledome. It is absolutely electric looking in there. And a guy, you know, like I said right off the top, wasn't willing to spend money on tickets, but make me regret it. I'm always fire a game to make me regret it end of the day. And here we go, George Canyon out to sing the anthem, and I am full on bet mode here. What's he going to do? You just toss up the mic and let it go. Oh, hey, look at that. And he's right there starting it off, and he is going to sing right through the first couple of lines here. It looks like he might just sing this whole dang thing, ain't he? What a guy. What a guy. You got to let the crowd rip. Hey, you know what? Yeah, I guess Rogers Place can own that, right? Rogers Place can absolutely own that, and they will, as they will shift to the stadium in Edmonton for game 3 and 4, Sunday and Tuesday, if I've got the series correct so far. Evan Bouchard, Duncan Keith will start on the blue line for the Oilers. It is indeed Kyler Yamamoto who will start out there on the right wing with Draisaitl and McDavid. So making the matchups early on easy for the Flames at home. But don't you worry, you know what? End of the day, the Oilers have some gritty guys, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a Dylan Holloway sneak into this series at some point. A black ace for the Oilers called up from Bakersfield, California the other day or this morning. Heck, you know what? It all, like I said, blends together at the end of the day during this time of the year. There's so much content. There's so much moves. There's so much everything to pay attention to. And the dude's got to work 8 hours a day, don't remind me. And hey, you know what? At the end of the day, I got to only work 8 hours. Some guys are working 12, 14, 15 a day up there in the patch making $45 an hour. And they got to be mindful of keeping themselves alive before worrying about what the Oilers are doing here for game time at 7:30, now 7:50, mind you. Might as well have started the game at 8 and just waited the extra 10 minutes, but don't mind me. I'm just some hack on YouTube. And we'll get this one underway as Mike Smith, with all that hair behind him, floats into the net at .229 goals against average, .938 save percentage. And don't forget, my friends, those 2 shutouts in round 1 against the LA Kings. To match them, though, Jacob Markstrom, 4-3 record, .53 goals against average, .943 save percentage. And oh yeah, he had a shutout. Don't forget about it in that first round as well. Connor McDavid ready to skate into the face-off dot and get this hockey game underway here at the Scotiabank Saddledome. Flames, Oilers, game 1. Johnny Gaudreau lines up at center. And my friends, we are ready to rip right here. Let's get this one going. Puck is ready to be dropped in a moment's time. They're shuffling things up. Yamamoto in the way, and the puck is down. And away we go. Rasmus Andersson off of the opening faceoff. Dumps it in. Mike Smith, a hard rim around the boards. Up to Kailer Yamamoto in flight. Connor McDavid can't come up with the puck. Yamamoto at his own blue line will get it ahead to McDavid, who cross-checks a man into his own zone. Forces the Flames back. And away that is, carrying it Shillington for the Flames. Up to the blue line, Gaudreau out into center. Rasmus Andersson across to Elias Lindholm, fires the shot and scores. First goal of the game. First shot, absolutely handcuffs Mike Smith, and there you go. That took about as much time as a guy would figure it would at the Scotiabank Saddledome to have a goal. 1-0 for the Calgary Flames, 26 seconds into the game on a goal that, well, a little bit of a broken play, but a great zone exit from the Flames across, and Duncan Keith left alone there to defend, and it just is a flutterbee puck the whole way through. It flutters off of Lindholm's backhand. He just chops at it. It might go off Duncan Keith. Definitely goes off Mike Smith's glove. Back of the net, and we've got ourselves a 1-0 game for the Calgary Flames in what can only be described as a pretty broken shot to open the scoring. But end of the day, I don't think anybody in the Sea of Red's going to quite mind that one. And now our Oilers find themselves down 1-0. The Flames pushing the puck ahead into the Oilers zone. An attack there, a turnover by Nuge. Flipped out of the crease by Archibald. Turned back by the Flames into the corner for Coleman, who will battle there. It'll be back behind the Oilers net and coming up with it. Backlund, front of the net. And again, another goal for the Flames. Mangiapane on the doorstep. And oh my goodness. Yeah, this one is going exactly how I think a lot of people down here that are pretty close to me at work would have told me it's going. 2-0 for the Calgary Flames right out of the gate here in Game 1. Just absolutely lazy defense behind the net by the Oilers allows the Flames to come up with a puck, and then nobody watching a man in front sneaking there. Cece the caught napping, and Mangiapane, he's scored a lot of goals this season. Doesn't miss from there. It bobbles off a skate right to his stick. Flips the puck past the pad of Mike Smith. No doubt about it, far post. And that, my friends, is a big goal to start this game, now giving the Flames a 2-0 lead. Come on, right? The old adage is Jay Woodcroft's teams come ready to start. So far, not so good for Mike Smith on 3 shots. Timeout for the Oilers right now. 19:09 into the game. But give me maximum chaos, baby. Give me maximum chaos. Let me see what these Oilers are capable of down 2-0. And let's see what we got going on here. As that is a big yikes. My buddy Mike just texted me from work saying, yeah, that's not how you want to start a hockey game, my friend. It really isn't. The Oilers now pushing it forward into the Flame zone. Kane in there with Connor McDavid and Jesse Puljujärvi, the top line that got us where we got to that second place. Kane just directs it in the middle of the ice in the Flame zone. They'll break out, fire it down the ice, rim it around the boards, and that'll be left there for Tyson Barrie, who I'm not sure is the guy you want out there defending after giving up 2 quick goals in the first minute. However, he's the guy you might want out there to get a quick stretch pass and a goal back the other way. However, Markstrom a tough test. That one goes flipped up into the bench. And that, my friends, will be a stoppage in play with 18:34 to go here in this first period. Woo-wee! Not the way you want to start if you're the Oilers. And you know what? Maybe Jay Woodcroft not too impressed with that one. That's for sure. As they are doing some chop chant. Never seen the chop chant in the Flames arena. However, I guess that's what's going on here, as I won't even pay attention to the line combinations for the Oilers, because that is a fool's errand to do that within a team run by Jay Woodcroft. The Oilers out there, Mike Smith touching the puck. It's going to be moved ahead into the neutral. 3 Oilers collide. It's Derek Ryan coming up with it at center ice. Now out there with Zach Kassian, who plays it back down to Ryan below the goal line. Kassian, half wall, comes up with the puck. It gets passed off a Flames skate all the way back into the Oilers' end. Mike Smith out to play it. Yeah, his puck playing hasn't cost us 2 goals. We're just down 2-0 because we're down 2-0. As the Flames capitalizing on 2 early great chances, not making a mistake, and that's kind of what we were told, is the Flames aren't that team that's going to miss the chance like LA, and so far they haven't. Through 2 shots, there's another opportunity, another chance in the crease, and the Flames defenseman Eric Branson had skated in deep into the zone, came up with the puck early, but couldn't keep it in the zone because he wasn't at the point. And now Nuge pushing it into the zone for the Oilers. Kachuk comes up with it on the backhand flip. Archibald trying to knock it down, but it's up to Gaudreau at center, who fires it in on Smith, gloves it down. He's going to play the puck over to Ceci. Ceci's going to have it to the right of Smith, just below the face-off dot. He'll chip and chase off the boards. Yamamoto's got the defenseman by a step, but it kind of curls all the way around the boards and goes for an icing call, and that's going to really blow the Oilers' tires off there a little bit, as that would have maybe been a key setup point for an attack to try and get back into this game. Instead, it's a face-off in their own end on the icing call. That first goal, that was a bobble puck, flutterbee at best, that just kind of gets past everybody and goes back to the net on Smith. The second one, inexcusable in the Stanley Cup playoffs, if you're asking me. Cody Ceci will flip it out into the neutral, where it'll be picked up there by Leon Draisaitl, leaves it for Connor McDavid. Everybody's offside, so back the other way. Mangiapane gets it at his own blue line, pitch and catch, D to D. Hanifin gets it ahead, and it'll be cut off there by Kulak. Kulak will play it off the boards, and it'll go down back into the Flames half, where it's picked up and chipped ahead yet again. It'll be backhanded in towards the net by Coleman, misses wide. Flames come up with it, hungry on the pucks early in the Oilers zone, and looks like we are indeed going to have a penalty call, and it's going to be a hooking call against somebody, not sure who. It looks like against the Oilers, because the Flames fans are cheering, and Tyson Barrie will be the man to head to the box for the Oilers. It's kind of one of those behind the play, a little bit of a can opener hook there. Yeah, I guess that's what they're going to call for a penalty in this series. All right, call it both ways, and I'll have no problem with that one. Tyson Barrie to the box for hooking early on in this one. 3:11 gone in the game, and we find ourselves shorthanded, down 2-0 here in the Sea of Red at the Scotiabank Saddledome. That's a big problem if you're asking me, but the Oilers, not a bad team shorthanded. They had a couple shorthanded goals in that series against the LA Kings, and they'll just clear this puck on the snapshot from the Flames. Markstrom all the way out to play it, can't come up with it. It fooled him. Anderson collects in his own zone. He'll move it back, and the Flames will start the breakout, led by Johnny Gaudreau, who gets it across, and it's chipped in there off a skate of an Oiler and caught at the blue line, where they're doing their best to try and turn it over. However, Zach Hyman doesn't do that much on the penalty kill, and he's leading the charge into the net. Whacking at the side of the net, it's Archibald coming up with it after the rebound off Markstrom. They're content to pass it back into the neutral and kill the clock. Duncan Keith, slap shot, glove save. Jacob Markstrom played off the back wall, and they did not get it off the back wall in time, did the Flames netminder Jacob Markstrom, and it will be on frozen puck in the Flame zone with a $1:15 to go in this power play. The best 45 seconds of this Oilers game so far, if you're the Edmonton Oilers, have been shorthanded down 2-0. You know what? You take the marginal victories where you can find them, and that is one of them to start this game. Chris Russell out there on this penalty kill. McLeod and Yamamoto, a Bakersfield Condors fan dream on this penalty kill for the Edmonton Oilers, as it'll be fired ahead onto the stick of Dylan Dubé, who's going to fire a shot, absolutely bodied up by Mike Smith, who bodies up the rebound from the Flames as well. Back to the point, and the Flames pitch and catch along the half wall, turn back to the point. Stone's back out there. He'll get it across to Hanifin, down low, up front, and what a beauty. Glove save, door stop robbery by Mike Smith on Dylan Dubé, top of the crease. And that will keep it 2-0. That was in a huge save right there, and a couple of big body up. You know, when you're as big as Mike Smith, sometimes all you have to do is body up the puck to be effective. Isn't that what we scream with Mikko Koskinen? And right there, he does it. Gets the job done and allows us to keep this 2-0 deficit right intact with 45 seconds to go on the penalty killer. Rebound there. Smith again, just doing his best to body up shots. Sometimes you don't have to make them pretty, and he doesn't do that very often, but he's done an effective job on this penalty kill. The shot's now 8-2 for the Flames as they load up and leave the zone. It'll be down the ice, and Smith will poke it there. Nugent Hopkins will go and chip it out to the blue line, but kept in by the Flames, and Hanifin looks to survey around the zone. He'll go down low left of the crease on the near side, and Hanifin will just chip it off the skates of Mangiapane in front, hoping for a bounce. The Flames leave it there, bounce it around behind the net. Hanifin, near side half wall, comes up with it. He'll play it down low, and it'll go all the way around to the high side of the half wall to Backlund, who just kind of guides it as the penalty comes to an end, and chipped out by Ceci, trying to meet Tyson Barrie at the Flames blue line, and dumped off the boards and back in front of the Flames net. Hanifin comes up with it. He'll lead it out of the zone here, looking to make a pass. 14:33 to go in this first period. chipped off a stick or two down into the Oilers zone. Chris Russell leaves it there, turns it over to Johnny Gaudreau, who bounces off of Russell. Two guys same size going at it. Puljujarvi comes up with it and moves it ahead for the Oilers into the Flames zone. Kane just manhandling his way through the zone, kept that puck alive as long as possible, and the Oilers regroup at their own blue line after it just kind of bounced around from the Flames. And here comes Connor McDavid down the right wing, shot fired, bodied up by Jacob Markstrom, chipped off the glass and out of the zone by the Flames. Milan Lucic now out there with the puck for the Flames. Brett Ritchie moving his way, shoots and scores. And that is as ugly of a goal defensively in the playoffs as they're going to come. Your defenseman cannot get bodied up like that and then have your goaltender allow that goal from there. 3-0. Brett Ritchie, the depth scoring from the Flames, gets the job done to chase Mike Smith. And I think, you know what, Mike Smith is done here. Mikko Koskinen was motioning at the bench. He's tightening his gloves. He's going in. Jay Woodcroft's telling him. And 13:55 left in the first period. The Calgary Flames have chased Mike Smith from the game. Connor McDavid's all kinds of held up by Nikita Zadorov. I can't complain about that because that's just the way it's going to be. And if your defenseman, I guess it wasn't defenseman, but if Evander Kane is going to get that badly bodied by Brett Ritchie, yeah, that goal better be going in the back of the net, because that, my friends, is borderline embarrassing in the playoffs. And it looks like I've just lost my stream for some reason. That's not good news, as I'm hopefully not cutting out on the stream here for you guys. I've got that still there, but I just got the notification from Sportsnet that the service is currently unavailable. And, well, maybe they just don't want me to be heartbroken any more than I already am. Site is down for Sportsnet. I'm not down on the stream. Interesting there that Sportsnet's website has crashed once again. It's been an interesting couple of goes here in good old small town rural internet over here, and that is really interesting that that crashed there. And that really sucks, because now I gotta open up another live stream tab and get this going just when we were rolling, eh? That's okay. We'll get another Google Chrome going and we'll get going here. Back over here, drag it over there. Where's my mouse? And let's try and get this game back underway. Welcome to Doing It Live, my friends. That's kind of the old adage in broadcasting. We'll do it live, and that's exactly what we're doing right here, right now. Trying to get this Oilers game back up despite being down 3-0. And Watch.Sportsnet is just down, my friends. Straight up down. And it's telling me I've got no internet despite having internet, because I'm still here live streaming. I'm still refreshing Twitter. And this is borderline embarrassing that this is happening to me during a live stream playoff game 1. But what do you do? And now for some reason, I guess maybe it's looking like I don't have enough bandwidth. I honestly could not tell you, my friends. I cannot get anything to load. Nothing's going. Yeah, welcome to it. Playoffs in real time. It just is what it is, I guess, end of the day. And for some reason, the internet's not cutting out, so I don't know if we didn't pay the internet bill this month. Bro, I straight up couldn't tell you. I have no clue what's going on in the game. I have no clue what's happening anywhere, and I straight up can't get the internet to load anything. So, fantastic. You know, if the game wasn't going bad enough, I am straight up just don't have enough bandwidth to do this right now. Yeah, that's phenomenal. That is a day maker right there. That's for sure. Because I can't get anything to load, so I don't know what to tell you guys. I could play-by-play recap the live. Nope, and there we go. I'm gone. All right, I'm buffering on my own end, guys. We'll try and go another time, I guess.